I think somebody did tell her that after a few months he might look like you, so she's
Yes,
just
that's
waiting for
true.
that timeline to happen now. So we were very clear that if it was a boy, it had to have our initials and my father's name. So my father's name was Ravi. I mean, we never even discussed whether to show or not show the baby's face and stuff. I mean, it was just a natural thing. I mean, he was on social media, I think on day 7 or day 10, you know.
So, hi Rohit, welcome to Pink Villa. And this is a very special episode for us because we are celebrating Father's Day. And we are very excited to have you in this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
So, how is Arav doing?
Arav is a brat. He wakes us up in the morning. He's like me. I'm an early riser. So he's exactly so he wakes up at 6 and both of us are actually playing before I go to the gym. So he's doing absolutely fine. Thank you so much. Thanks for asking.
One question during the pregnancy phase, like did you and Anita sit and brainstorm about names that if we'll have you did? And whose selection is Arav?
So we were very clear that if it was a boy, it had to have our initials and my father's name. So my father's name was Ravi. So RAV from there. Arav ka A and R comes from Anita and Rohit. And then that's how it was formed. But we also had a name for if we had a baby girl. Yeah. So we had prepared ourselves pretty well.
Yeah, and Rohit, you seem to be one of the coolest dads. I love the videos that you put, especially the one I want to mention is the one where you're telling him, how to be an influencer. And I think he's at it. So, what makes you the coolest dad?
What makes you the coolest dad? I don't know. I don't know if I'm the coolest dad or not, but I try to be chill with him. I'm just treating him like an adult already. So we're having conversations. I'm sure he doesn't understand anything that I say, but we're still having very deep conversations about the meaning of life, about everything. So, I'm actually like a child myself in my head. I'm also trying to do ridiculous things. I'm actually also learning along with him. And I'm not trying to kind of, get pressured by people telling me how to do things or what to do. And I think I'm just taking every day as it comes and learning on the go. I think that's what makes me kind of like a chill dad.
And at times there are certain things which dad feel are very cool, and mothers they find it irritating.
See, right now it's just been 4 months, right? So we are both actually in a new phase, and we are also trying to kind of be at it. Anita is very, very hands-on. I try to come and lift him up, and I try to. So I'm like I try to kind of not to wake him up, but I want to play with him all the time. But whenever he's sleeping, I want to see if he's awake. Anita is very careful about all of that. She doesn't want me to disturb him. So yeah, those are the things that I think that's the only difference. She's very hands-on in terms of what should he be doing, how should I be holding him.
Where we are facing pandemic. How are you managing parenting?
We've been trying to be careful ourselves. We do our regular testing. Like I said, I do a test 3 times a week myself because we've been shooting non-stop. Anita has been very careful. She's also trying to build her immunity in terms of getting into evening walks, building her strength training as well. So there are a lot of things that we are doing in terms of fitness. That's one. We've also been trying to maintain a lot of social distancing with people, at least at our house. We have restricted that. So we've been very, very careful. And I think, sanitizing, doing all the hygiene work has become a norm, right? Anyway, today. So those are the mandatory things anyway, so which we have been trying to do. But from a I think what is very important in today's times are the emotional aspects of things. And because we have a new member in the family, I think, staying emotionally stable and staying emotionally positive is very important, right? And I think, Arav brings that to our lives. Every time we have a tiring day, we still want to kind of, get back to our house and kind of, be at it. Be with him. I think that's the ray of positivity that is currently in our house.
Having a baby at home, it's itself a responsibility. Yeah. So how that has changed your life right now?
I think, right now it's just been 4 months, right? From a responsibility perspective, doing the right things in terms of his feeding, what does he have to consume, what not, what shouldn't he be consuming. He's still breastfeeding right now, but also his sleep patterns, taking care of that. Right now, like just a week back, he's learned how to turn, right? So and he's growing really fast. So now we are a little careful because every night we are checking on him every 2-3 hours, because the moment they kind of turn and stuff, if they get stuck in a certain position, we have to be there. So we're very, very careful. We have a certain routine that we have been following in terms of sleeping early, waking up early. So those are the good things that we've been doing in terms of parenting.
And Arav has become one of the most loved babies on social media, and there is so much of love coming in. So how does that feel?
Oh, it's just, I think, we are grateful to everybody who's been there on social media. So I have always been saying this, for the last 10 years since since Instagram actually came into being, that we are what we are because of the people who actually support us, right, on social media. They have no connection in terms of they've never met us, yet there is so much of love pouring in. And I've realized that with Arav especially, the people genuinely kind of shower their love, and I think that is so beautiful because they've never met the baby, they've never met us, and they just find it so positive. I think everybody in their life is looking for that one little positive moment in the day. I think Arav brings that to everyone.
And being a celebrity is not easy at times, and there are constantly people checking on you. There are cameras outside, so there are few celebrities who took conscious decision to keep their babies away from PAP and the entire culture.
See, we have always been present on social. We've been out there. Our lives have been very transparent. I mean, we never even discussed whether to show or not show the baby's face and stuff. I mean, it was just a natural thing. I mean, he was on social media, I think, on day 7 or day 10, and that was it. I mean, it was it was an extension of our own personalities, and we wanted to kind of give access to everybody. We didn't want to restrict access. So these are few things that, from a mindset perspective, we were very clear that we don't need to kind of get restricted by all of that.
And who is more possessive about the kid? Is it you
Anita.
Or is it Anita?
100% Anita. She's very possessive. She's even possessive with me in terms of she doesn't let me come near him. At sometimes she's like, no, don't disturb him, don't bother him. But I think because of the fact that he looks a lot like me, I'm not concerned.
I think he's exactly a copy of you. I'm sure people might be telling you that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does tell me that, and I find it quite funny because Anita's actually had him in her for like 9 months, and all of a sudden he looks like me. So I'm sure it must be a little upsetting for Anita, but she has to live with it for the rest of her life now.
But looks like you is one thing, he is like a copy of you with those dimples and those eyes and that nose.
So she's hopeful that I think somebody did tell her that after a few months he might look like you. So she's just waiting for that timeline to happen now.
There were reports recently that, she's not going to come back to acting, and it really troubled her fans. People were going crazy on social media. And I think after that she came out and she did mention about it. So what would you like to say about that?
So I think, with Anita, what is the scene is that she takes it a day as it comes, right? So right now she's only in the mood of parenting. She only wants to spend the maximum amount of time with the child. She wants to give him the best parenting experience ever. So the work is the last thing on her mind right now. Also, her social media commitments are quite a lot. I mean, in terms of branding that she's been doing, she's been endorsing a few brands. So from that perspective, she's anyway busy at home, right? Just getting back to television or OTT. I mean, I think it will happen for sure, but it will take some time to happen. I mean, not this year for sure.
And your baby is just 4 months old, and this is your first Father's Day. So what are your plans? How are you planning to celebrate it?
So I have taken a day off. I'm at home, and we're going to be spending a lot of time together. We might just go out for a little drive because the weather is so nice here in Bombay. And I think just being there, spending time. I think, at the end of the day, being together is what is the most important thing in today's times. And that's what we're going to be doing.
Parents have told us stories, which set examples in our life. So is there something that you have planned? You want to tell him about your struggles, your achievement that will set an example?
So my dad actually was in the army, and he had the strongest ethical mindset ever. He was the most ethical person you would come across, and I think that is something that I want to kind of pass on to Arav. Being ethical, being sincere is all that is required, and that's what we need to kind of be doing. You need to build trust with people that you're with, and I think that is exactly what I need to kind of translate to Arav.
The serious discussion, because we spoke about so many things like lockdown and COVID, so that entire pregnancy phase, was in lockdown. You were with Anita. So how was that phase?
It was obviously upsetting because of what was going around in the country and around the world. But like I said, we have to be mentally strong to keep the negativity out, be precautious, spread positivity. take care of everybody around us. I mean, see, there are certain things that are not in our control, but there are certain things that are, and I think that's what we were focused on.
These days, the definition of parenting has changed a lot. Few years back, it was only the mother who used to take care.
Yeah.
These days, dads have become super active. They take up responsibility. So how do you see that change?
I love the change, So, I mean, we have always said that it takes two to kind of, do the right thing. And today, if the father is not contributing, then there is something wrong, right? And I think, across, and while this could be more present in larger towns and cities, but I see that happening in smaller towns as well, obviously situations are different for everybody in their family and stuff, but that is a very good change that is coming on in the industry now.
One thing I want to ask you, it's not related to the baby, but you and Anita, people love your chemistry. People, they're just fond of you. I've read so many comments personally. So what is that magic, that one thing you would like to tell people?
I think just the fact that we have been together for so long now. It's been 11 years. And the fact that we know each other, we are actually very honest with each other. And we just actually, the bottom line is that we love to go out and have fun. We don't think mentally we feel our age, to be honest. We don't think we are 40. And I think we are still stuck in the 20s or 30s, and we still think that we are younger. But I think bodies are not supporting that right now. So we need to come to terms with it. But I think mindset wise, we're still very young.
And Rohit, you just mentioned 40s, and that brings me to a question that people think a lot. There are a lot of discussion that happens whether you should be parents at 30 or 35 or 20s or 40s. So what would you like to say?
I mean, to each its own, right? We chose to not get into parenting immediately when we got married. We wanted to do our own bit of work, reach a certain level in our careers, and then dive into this space. But I mean, I have friends who have had kids at a very early age, and they're doing fantastic. So I have friends who have 10-year-old kids, so 11-year-old kids. So there's a massive difference in our families as such. But to each its own. I think you need to be focused and very clear on the definition of success in your head. And the right time, there is no right time as such. So right time can be any time that you feel like.
I'm very, very happy to have this conversation.
Same here.
So thank you so much, Rohit, for
thank you so much.
Us. And a very happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just stay safe.
Thank you.